This event that we've been running, Sustainable Innovation at 08, is the 13th conference in a series that we've been running since 1995, looking at sustainability, design, and more broadly innovation. And this year we were looking a little bit more into the future in terms of new technologies, products, and business models.
We have been turning our back on nature for a long time, so we need to turn around and look at nature and learn from nature. And there's a term for that, it's called biomimicry. That is going to be a key factor in the future. I also think that we should start more and more to communicate. It's important to network and communicate and open up, meet new people. It's when you meet new people when ideas are created. Another thing is consumables. A lot of business models today depend on consumables, that you have to buy consumable all the time to use the product. We have to do some rethinking there. And fourthly, I think manufacturing. We need to look at local manufacturing or regional manufacturing. We can't produce everything in China anymore.
The critical issue is really defining the scope of the problem at the right magnitude. Right now there are a lot of things that are going around calling themselves sustainable, but which are really at best sort of marginal incremental actions. And I think what we're really going to see emerging in the next 5 years or so are a number of approaches, some of them about product design, some of them about urban planning and architecture, some of them about the way that we provide services, which aim to actually completely eliminate or mostly eliminate ecological impact from our day-to-day lives.
I would prefer to take an entrepreneurship point of view here, and I think it's very important when you're dealing with sustainability issues that you take advantage of the power you can find in the entrepreneurial process. And that process is of course taking part in all type of business situations, but my research is about the very early development of businesses, where you shape the future of the young company. And I think it's very important that the sustainability issues and aspects are coming in very early in that process, where you have the flexibility, the opportunity, the strong motivation from the entrepreneur, etc., that you can take advantage of. So I think it's very, very important that not seeing the sustainability issues as some kind of separate process to the early business development.
Well, with regard to sustainable innovation, I think if you're looking at products, technology, and industry, the real issue is a perspective that talks about almost totally dematerializing much of what we use in terms of an embodied product. There are a couple of people that have written about it. Years ago, Schumacher wrote about it in Small is Beautiful, and tried to embrace the idea of small and elegance. I think that idea has resurfaced, and we're looking at a world where quality and quantity will be clearly separated, and we are looking at more quality in terms of the services and the products we get. And one of the parameters of quality will be, and I think is becoming, it's sustainable attributes. You know, I hesitate to call it its greenness, but it's some of the tags that'll be associated with the product. It may be something as basic as fair trade. That'll be a qualifier. That'll define the quality of the product, the intrinsic quality of the product. The elegance or the simplicity of the product. Perhaps it's a multifaceted kind of product. So I think all of those things will play into a notion of sustainability. Thackeray, John Thackeray, who's just written, or last couple of years ago wrote In the Bubble, talks about this notion of lightness. And I find that particularly appealing to a demographic of which I am a part that really has begun to see having stuff as a burden, the burden that it is. And so if I can satisfy my needs and my wants and my desires and not have to buy articles or artifacts and still be whole, two things happen. I'm less burdened from a physical perspective, but I'm also less burdened from a psychological perspective. And there's a value in that I think is a sellable and an appreciable value that people are beginning to embrace.
I would like to talk about three different topics. The one is a purely technical issue, and I'm very confident that the engineers will find solutions for most of our problems. I think the very critical issues are to set the right political frameworks and to set frameworks for conditions we don't know yet, as we want new solutions and new products, production processes to develop. And another critical issue are the social issues that go along with these changes.
Regarding sustainable innovation, the issues that we see as an organization, the Responsibility Alliance, is to help young people, especially those involved in art, design, fashion and media, to realize and develop their abilities to create futures for themselves in the creative industries. In order to initiate that, what we've done is put together a project for 2009 where we will be taking 100 art and design, fashion and media students to Egypt. They will be going to the Western Desert in Siwa to work and do some research on a fantastic eco-tourism project that will provide the content and exposure to the issues that are basically need to be addressed at the bottom of the pyramid, which is food, clothing, shelter, energy, transport and job creation. They'll be going to the desert, 100 students, in 10 separate expeditions between March and October. Their aim and objective is to gain experience, look at very good examples. Then they're going to spend time in the Sinai Desert with the Bedouin and have a look at the impact of climate change for real. Where better than in the desert to talk about the challenges of climate change, water, and the impact on planet Earth. The other aim and objectives for them is to create a book which is going to be entitled 10 Resolutions for Responsible Design. It will also encompass the production of a DVD, and we are hoping to present that at the Global Climate Change Conference in Copenhagen in December next year.